Good day everyone, I am Richie Vicente from Group 7 Fighter. Members, Marian Balite, Maria Teresa Habil, and Archie Obejero. So today I'll going to discuss our group work about the summary paper of Fundamentals of Language Research. The first question, discuss the fundamentals of language research. Language literary study is a systematic, objective, and literature-based analysis of scientifically documented facts that can lead to generalizations, principles, models, theories, and event prediction. It also highlighted the methods and strategies used, purpose of the research, the analysis of data, and lastly, the ethics in conducting study. Second question, explain the systematic process of inquiry by describing the aspect, stages, and process of developing and writing an educational research. So practitioners who employ the inquiry or research method, the professional development perform systematic, intentional, field-based inquiry to their daily practices. The technique is anchored on analytical and reflective practice and builds on practitioners' real-world experiences. So practitioners are, first, critically reflect on their own instructional practices. Second, review related research in their field of interest. Third, pose problems for investigation based on their own settings, prior experience, and teaching and learning goals. And lastly, develop analytical approaches for resolving problems. So the research process is a series of scientific stages that must be followed in order to do research. Each step is linked to the ones before it. The procedure begins with the research problem, and a research proposal is required for the most research projects because it determines whether or not you'll be able to complete the research study or not you have the ability to do the research. Here are the stages and process in developing and writing an educational research. Step 1. Identify and defining the research problem. The investigation could be anything that the agency identifies as a problem, or it could be some knowledge or information that the agency has required by the government, or there is a need to discover a national recreation trend. A research problem is a statement about a problem that needs to be solved, a condition that needs to be improved, and a research problem is generally addressed as a question in various social science subjects. Step 2. Review the related literature or RRL. Once the research problem is identified, and the next step to review the existing research. The researcher must review the literature related to the research problem. This step provides foundational knowledge about the problem area. The RRL also educates the researcher about what studies have been conducted, how these studies were conducted, and the conclusions in the problem area. Step 3. Formulating hypotheses. In this step, the researcher makes the problem precise. Formulating hypotheses in research makes you more expert. And in order to develop a working hypothesis, a researcher should follow the following approach. First, discussions with colleagues and experts about the problem. Second, examination of data and records. Third, review of similar studies in the area or of the studies on similar problems. Last, exploratory personal investigation. So step number 4, research design. The researcher must then find out a research design. Research design decides how the research materials will be collected. The function of research design with minimal expenditure of effort, time, and money. But how all of this can be achieved depends mainly on the research purpose, which is the following. First, exploration. Second, description. Third, diagnosis. And fourth, experimentation. There are also several research designs such as experimental and hypothesis testing and the non-experimental hypothesis testing. Step 5. Carry out the research process. While the research design is decided, then the researcher collects data and records information. The researcher proceeds with the research, and practical difficulties may arise at this stage. Step 6. Preparing research problems. Now work out the implications of the data gathered. Interpret your research results in order to report the findings. No matter what kind of research you have or you are doing, there comes a moment when your head is full of ideas that originated from your analysis. Step 7. Reporting research findings. The final step of the research process outline is to report the research findings. Usually, the research report published as a journal, article, or book. This is the last stage in terms of individual research project. So, that's all for today, and that's all our group work activity. Thank you and God bless.